I too am an immigrant. I feel very English. I'm proud to be a British citizen. That's a privilege in the world we live in. But I'm made of several nations. There's a bit of Irish, Scottish and Norwegian in me. An 18th century ancestor came to England. But going back with my family roots in the northeast, I have Viking blood as well. I too am an immigrant. Our nation is made up of immigrants. The peaceful arrival of post-World War II refugees, or the Huguenots fleeing France in the 17th century, or the Normans and their friends, the Vikings, the Saxons, the Romans. Perhaps the Celts are the nearest to original inhabitants, except anthropologists tell us that they too crossed the Channel as immigrants. I'm an immigrant. You're an immigrant. Our ancestors weren't always welcomed. Romans, Saxons, Vikings, Normans. They came in conquest, plunder, and then stayed. Later immigrants came fleeing persecution, Huguenots, or seeking a better life, my Norwegian ancestor. On the whole, as a nation, we've welcomed those arriving in distress or seeking to better themselves. Such people movements have characterised human life for millennia. Even ancient Israel was commanded to welcome the foreigner. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34. The foreigner residing among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Let's see what God says. They are to love the foreigner. And Jesus commanded us to love our neighbour and to care for those in need. Good Samaritan-like of Luke chapter 10. They're also to assist the foreigner to integrate into Israel's life and worship. Leviticus chapter 18, verse 26. You, Israel, must keep my decrees and laws. The native born and the foreigners residing among you must not do any of the detestable things of the Canaanite peoples. There's the encouragement to integrate, to adopt the Israelite language, customs and culture. God's foundations for godly living and godly society do not change, and good integration, not ghettoisation, is the positive direction. I too am an immigrant. Yes, it may be many centuries ago, but that's a good longer perspective to hold. As a Christian, I'm to love my neighbour, which includes the foreigner in my midst, to care for those in distress and to support those who wish to contribute. As a nation, we are all immigrants. Over the past 2,000 years, some arrived in friendship and others in battle mode, but eventually we settled, integrated, and contributed to the making of this people.